Good everyone, welcome to this video. Today we have a combo request by Tanker for you 1234 for the Valentine Mark 1 and the Havoc Mark 1. Now unfortunately, this combo falls under what I would call painful. Now, I'm not saying the vehicles are bad, it's the fact that these vehicles get a lot of up tiers for the battle rating. So we're at 2.3, and one of the most common battle ratings that get played is German 3.0 to 3.3, and all of their guns can go right through the Valentine, so this is probably not going to be a very stellar sort of combo request, but I'll try to make it work. At least the Havoc might work, I mean, because it's a Havoc, I've always loved the Havoc. So the Valentine Mark 1 recently has had a couple of minor buffs, which aren't really going to make a difference. One of them was before the volumetric changes. The change beforehand was the driver's port that has now been increased to 16 millimeters, and the volumetric changes has made the turret ring weak spot a little bit harder to hit with some shells. However, 20 millimeter caliber will still go through it anyway. So against anti-aircraft vehicles, we will likely have a bit of a problem. Now, of course, this isn't to say that the Valentine cannot compete in a 3.3 battle. It can. The problem is you cannot rely on this vehicle's main party piece, which is its armor plating. So the Valentine was one of the many infantry tanks made by the British, and the tank was quickly phased out, as you can imagine, and we mostly gave it to the Soviets. But the actual tank itself was not a bad design. Yes, it was underpowered and slow, but that was the main concept. Infantry tanks were designed to be heavily armoured and slow, so then the infantry could use these tanks as cover as they move up on positions. And obviously the armour's just there to make sure the tank doesn't get knocked out by a machine gun. But as the war went on, the Valentine's armour soon got kind of pointless, because 60 millimeters of armour was nothing compared to both some of the German tanks and also some of the anti-tank guns that were around during that time. And whilst the Valentine would have done well against the Italians, they still had German tanks during that time with the long 50 and long 75mm guns accordingly, which would pick off the Valentine with no issue at all. But luckily, we don't have to deal with something like a flak 88. Well, we might not have to deal with. Well, I mean, in fact, we won't have to deal with a flak 88, but we will have to deal with the long 75 and the long 50. Obviously, our plane for today is the Havoc Mark 1. I don't really need to go over this plane, so we're just going to jump straight in. If you've been around the channel a little bit, I have reviewed the Havoc, and it's an excellent plane. I've always loved the Havoc. Really glad that I picked it up a few years ago. But yeah, unfortunately, we're actually flipping out. This is rare. We've got a downtier. Before anyone asks about how many attempts this has probably been like the fourth attempt to actually we'll do a video on this on this combo. Like I said, the combo is not bad. It's just the fact that up tiers to 3.0 and 3.3 are very common. I'm just a lucky little shit today. Clearly, guys are just like, you know what? Let's get him out of low tier. He's had enough trouble, and yeah, he can go on his day and do the other sub request that he has left. Because quite clearly this one is a bit too painful. Hello, Stuart. Captain Willis, any from Far Cry 3 onwards? I think it's the guy's name's Willis. It's like a guy who's a backstabbing little shit in that game. Right, let's get on the move, because, well, the Valentine isn't exactly blessed with top speed. In fact, this is the top speed, 14.9 miles an hour. That's the main concept of the infantry tank. It was meant to, well, the infantry was meant to sit behind them and use the tank as cover, and this would also support the infantry as they moved up. Because the 2-pounder gun for the time of 1939 to 1940 was a perfectly solid anti-tank gun. It could crack pretty much anything the Germans had. Unfortunately though, as time went on, 41, 1942, the 2-pounder became a little bit long in the tooth. Subsequently, the tank was soon upgunned to the 57mm cube or 6-pounder cannon. I meant OQF, 6-pounder. And it was also upgunned at one point to the 75mm Ordnance 75, which is very closely related to the Sherman's 75mm, for anyone that's curious. Yeah, other than that, the Valentine tended to see action until about, I think the British kept them in service till about 42, 43, and then obviously we converted them to like ammo carriers, the Archer, which you may be familiar with, and things like that. But the Soviets actually quite liked these tanks. They were a little slow, but from what I've read, most of the Soviet tankers love these things. Because the Valentine, against less concentrated groups of AT and tank positions. Hello, what are you doing over here? Oh, never mind, we'll have to wait. You're first. You're next. And you're third. 3 kills in a matter of seconds. It's a long way to Tipperary. Honestly, this tank is fucking slow. But to be fair, given the design concept, it's actually doing its job pretty well. What you just witnessed there, by the way, was flanking in a Valentine. The chances of that happening are very slim. Simply due to how bloody slow this thing is. I'm gonna back up this Stuart. I don't think the enemy team is going to be too happy with us right now. Yeah, there's definitely something coming down that road. It's a T-28. Driver and transmission. Now we can resist that 76mm. But if you're front on, like directly front on, that gun can actually penetrate. Oi! You little shit, get back here. Oi! No speeding, little shit. Oh, Jesus Christ! How did you... Commander Gunner. How did you miss? Oh! That was a 1-tonner. Still 6 kills and a cap, I'll take that, but we've got to back up the Valentine if we choose to do so. Yeah, that's one way to remove a Valentine if the teammates you have cannot kill whatever's in, or whatever they have. Like that 76mm, well, that 75mm heat carrier, the M8, could have killed us, but he missed his shot. So that's what we was able to utilize then. Okay, so where did that... Okay, the Stuka's dead, good. Now they're on the seed point, so I can carpet bomb that. I think this Captain Willis has been watching Oddballs, because Oddballs did a video on that plane. He did a pretty good job of it, actually. I do like Oddballs, he's got a great channel. Right, now we're gonna dive bomb this. Okay, never mind, he just died. Swing it back around. So where are the enemy tanks? Oh, there's some. Though I don't want to bomb a teammate, but I don't think I'll have much of a choice. Got the SU-76, so at least we supported him there, but I don't want to bomb a teammate if I can avoid it. Oh, you got it. It's a BT-7. Okay, we've got a plane inbound. M1542. Well, you can have my last bomb. That was a little bit off, but we did some internal damage, it looks like. Not a lot, though. Okay, enemy aircraft incoming high. Oh, he's actually coming for us. I didn't expect that. Ow! Ow! Oh, of course it's an I-15. It always is. Come on. The hell? I just shot you in the face! Wow! None of my shots connected. Gaijin, what the fuck? What the hell was that? Gaijin, fix your fucking shit! Every single shot hit that I-15 and it did absolutely nothing. God almighty! Okay, he just spontaneously combusted. I think at this rate we're gonna have to go towards the 8 point. I thought I could go down that bit, but I can't, so that's why I turned the tank so suddenly. That was disappointing. That's for definite. That really was disappointing. Because that should have killed that I-15. But no, I-15 pilots are apparently blessed by fucking stellinium. Come on, I need you to pick up some speed. Let's fire a random shot. That's him. Come on, just reverse back a little bit more, buddy. Come on. That's the ticket, thank you. I gotta laugh at Gaijin. I bet that guy still had fucking spawn protection or something. Because that is the only way. In which case... Oh, come on! Really? Good lord. First shot doesn't render. Second, well, in fact that was a ghost shell, the first shot was. Second shot, fuck all. Oh, by the way, for anyone who's gonna say this in the comments, yes, that tank that you just saw there, that Puma, is a perfect counter to the Valentine. It makes its armor irrelevant, and most importantly, it's much faster. That right there, what you just saw, is the meta of low tier. Unfortunately, the Valentine just doesn't fit in. The change with this lineup that I would do is I would not take a Valentine. The short answer is the Valentine does not fit in with the low tier meta. The low tier meta is all about mobility. And this just doesn't fit it. Yes, its armor is tough to some opponents. But at the same time, when you've got a Stuka with a 1000 kilogram bomb, or in this case, a Puma with a 75mm heat round which can go right through your turret, there really isn't a lot you can do. If I was to make a personal suggestion to this lineup, I would either take a Crusader Mark II, a Stuart II, or if you want to up tier it slightly, a Daimler armored car. All these vehicles fit into low tier meta much better than the Valentine. Yes, we got a load of kills, but 3 of them were flanks and 3 of them we kind of got lucky. And if you have to rely on luck for a tank, it doesn't work. I'm sorry to say. Obviously, the incident in Havoc with the I-15, I don't even have a clue myself. I was aiming right for the I-15 and the shots were just going straight through it, so I don't have a clue. But, yeah. Unfortunately, this lineup is, well, this combo is just not as effective, and plus with the Havoc's 500-pound bombs being as poor as they are, You really have to land a 500-pounder right next to the enemy vehicle to actually do some damage, and that just doesn't work. If you're going to change out the Havoc for something, there certainly is some good options. You've got the Hurricane Mark IV, you've got the Hudson, which has more bombs, and, well, fair enough, they're smaller, but you get Carpet Bomb, and you get rockets. You get the Hurricane Mark II-B, you get the Wellington, and if you want to up tier slightly, there's the F Mark II Corsair, and even some Wellingtons, and even the Typhoon. All these vehicles are much better in tank forces than the Havoc, sadly to say. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the Valentine and Havoc. Like I say, those are the changes that I would do personally. Let me know what you think of this combo in the comments below, and I will catch you all on the next one.